Hello, everybody. I'm Chase Gibson. College game day. LSU, Texas, Herman, Orgeron, playing for their first huge out-of-conference win in the regular season. Here to help me discuss that, Will Stewart, coming in from a different side this time. So the college game, we have so many great games this weekend that we included 7 instead of 5 on the slate.
Yeah, 7.
A lot of great games. A lot of unranked v unranked. A lot of conference, like old conference, like the Big East and old Big 12 rematches.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see, and we could have put in more. We felt like we could have put in about 10.
Yeah. UC,
yeah, Purdue, Vanderbilt, a lot of great matchups this weekend. But we're gonna start. We're going in chronological order. So we're gonna start with a Big East matchup these guys used to play all the time. Syracuse, number 21 team in the country, the Syracuse Orange, going to Maryland. Before we discuss this game, the Terps put up 79 points.
Was that the most in week 1?
Tied with Penn State for the most. Yes, I guess it was.
Oh my gosh. Calm down.
This is right. All right.
Calm down.
Well, yeah, very offensive team. So obviously Maryland, they have a transfer. Josh Jackson from Virginia Tech. 4 touchdown passes, 300 yards, week 1. So, well, before we even discuss this game, I just want to know, what does he have to do to knock off Syracuse?
Same thing he did this week 1.
All right.
Just calm down, stay focused, just let it pass.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah, Maryland, even with Donald Savage, they have a phenomenal running back. They have Josh Jackson, obviously a very talented.
Yeah.
But they got Josh Jackson. They got Jawan Leeler, senior running back.
Oh, senior.
Okay. And then you got MJ Jarrell, Sean Savvy, DJ Turner, who's a senior. He's an incredible receiver.
Yes.
One of the best in the Big Ten East. And that's when you have Ohio State and Penn State in that group, and he's still one of the best in the Big East. So I think Syracuse, honestly, Maryland has a chance in this one. And being at home
in their offense
with Syracuse without Eric Dungy, they struggled against Liberty. 24-0. 24-0 was the final score.
I mean,
that was a tough game for Syracuse. In the first
but
quarter, they barely even scored. I think they had a field goal. So
it's not good
so
for them.
what Syracuse has to do? What does Syracuse have to do in this game to be able to stop the Maryland offense?
I can stay focused.
Yeah.
I just think that if they give up, say 14, 21 points in the first quarter, you can't get all we're done. We're going to fight back. And I think they can do that.
Syracuse is one of the best teams at doing that too. Yeah. But Syracuse, Rex Culpepper, son of Dante. You know who Dante Culpepper is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's the son of Dante Culpepper.
Okay.
And so he's the starter. He was named starter week 1. I don't know. They could change it up because this is Maryland. It's completely different from Liberty. If you did not know that, I'm sorry, but Liberty.
Yeah.
Maryland is a completely different football team, and you're playing on the road, not in your 70,000 capacity Maryland Stadium. Yeah. Syracuse Stadium. Yeah. So, Will, what do you like about this game personally?
The offense.
The offense?
Mainly in Maryland.
Okay.
I'm just so excited to see how they perform now that they're actually playing top 25 team. So
yeah,
I'm very excited.
Syracuse, number 21 team in the country.
Yep.
Syracuse only favored by 2.5 again. Mm-hmm. Maryland, please capitalize.
Yeah, please.
Big chance here.
Yeah.
Got a home win. Now here's the question coming in. I think a lot of people want to know: will Maryland be ranked
if they
beat Syracuse? Because first of all, Syracuse isn't that good of a team without Eric Dungy. So, will they be ranked if they beat Syracuse?
If they blow them out, I think they will.
Okay.
But if it's
close,
it's hard.
I think if it's a close game, I think I could possibly still be ranked.
Yeah. Yes. But if they blow them out, then I think.
All right, so we move on to our next game. West Virginia at Maryland. It's the battle of the transfers. West Virginia at Missouri. It's the battle of the transfers. Austin Kendall, transfer from Mississippi State. He's now at West Virginia. And Kelly Bryant, transfer from Mizzou. Yeah, so Mizzou is favored by a whopping 13.5. So, Bryant, why is Mizzou favored if they lost to Wyoming last week?
Doesn't make sense.
And they're favored by a lot too, 13.5.
Didn't they get crushed by Wyoming?
It wasn't. They lost. They didn't get crushed, but
it was like 10 or 7. Something like that. We lost by, I don't know.
But anyway,
13 still.
13 and a half, yeah.
I mean, Wyoming, they are.
That's way too much. In my opinion, it should be under 6, and if they're favored to win. Now, I think it's mostly because they're at home and they have Kelly Bryant. Kelly Bryant knows how to improve.
Yes.
In the game against Texas A&M last season, awful. Barely pulled off the win because they had to put Lawrence in. Lawrence did a good job. Then he became starting quarterback and won a national championship.
Yep.
Became the MVP. That's not the point. The point is, West Virginia, they're a good football team.
They are.
But going into Columbia, Missouri, in the other swamp besides Florida of the nation, tough game.
Yeah, it is.
So,
I mean, and with the heat,
too. Yeah.
It's hard.
It's gonna be a tough game. And Austin Kendall's a transfer.
Yes.
So.
Sioux State.
Yep. Yeah. Sat behind Nick Fitzgerald for 2 years. So now West Virginia, this should be like they don't have Dana anymore.
Will Greer.
Gone. Out the door. Stills gone.
Oh yes. Yep.
So like, where do you start? You get a big win against an SEC football team. West Virginia possibly they'll be 2-0, and if they get the win, that could be ranked. Mizzou, even if they do get the win, even if they blow them out of the water, you still lost to Wyoming. So why would you be ranked? That's gonna be a phenomenal game. You should check that out at noon. Syracuse, Maryland's at noon on ESPN, and West Virginia, Mizzou is at noon on ESPN 2. Now we head to the 3:30 games. This one, if LSU and Texas was not playing this week, this would be the game right there. Right there, you see it right there.
Honestly, it's one of my favorite games. I mean,
first of all, this is a rematch, and a phenomenal one at that. Texas A&M, the number 12 team in the country, at Clemson.
Number 1.
You got to say that this scenario is a little different than last year. Texas A&M came in; they weren't even ranked.
No, now they're what? They're like
the 12th in the country.
I mean,
Clemson's still favored by 15. Now, if Kellen Mond and Kendrick Rogers perform the way they did in the last, we're gonna have another close game.
And if that A&M defense can hold Trevor Lawrence,
okay, but that hold Trevor Lawrence is something that will never come out of your mouth as defensive coordinator.
I mean, I don't think.
I mean, it'll come out of your mouth, but you won't be able to do it. So, Lawrence, phenomenal football team.
Yeah.
A&M, Kellen Mond has a chance to be the SEC Player of the Year.
Yeah.
He might be the most surprising player in college football. Last year was a freshman. He was ridiculous last year.
Now he's improved.
Exactly, and now he's coming in as a sophomore. Playing one of the biggest, probably this is the biggest game of his career.
Yeah. Or the one, but probably this one.
Or Georgia, coming up at the end of the season. This one is, right now,
biggest one.
Yes. So, it's tomorrow. But I want to know how the atmosphere in Death Valley in the middle of the day difference from Kyle Field at night. That is a completely different change for A&M. Now, Clemson, they're used to playing day games at Death Valley. Like A&M, they're not used to playing day games, like, just period. They usually play at night at Kyle Field. Usually.
Yeah.
They'll play 2 or 3 day games a year. So, when you walk into the number 1 team in the country's house and play a day game.
Especially that day game, that's a huge factor.
Exactly.
I mean,
they're not used to doing that. They will not be used to doing that walking into this game.
Clemson, they're pretty familiar with that.
Yeah, exactly. So I think 15 and a half, a little too much. I would say 10, probably. But still, I think the line should be double digits because it's Trevor Lawrence and Justin Ross and T. Higgins and Travis Etienne. And I don't want to keep going on because this show would air out for 50 minutes straight.
We can probably name everybody.
Exactly. They're all stars. They're all stars. The offensive linemen are stars. Like, they're some of the best in the country.
D-line, probably.
So, best in the country. Yeah. So I think Clemson, if they can just not perform like they did last year, and just try to stop that A&M, try to stop the A&M-O. Because A&M faced the best defensive line in the country last year, and they did pretty well.
They did.
Yeah, and now they're coming in with more experienced offensive linemen. So if you look at that matchup...
And a more experienced Von Bach.
Yeah, and a less experienced Clemson defensive line.
Yes.
So if you look at that and say, I've seen an offense get rolling early. So I think that's going to be also a factor. Move on to the next one. The old Big 12 rivals. Yeah. Oh, man, I used to watch this game. Well, my dad used to watch this game because I wasn't even born. The Big 12 disbanded. But these two, the game last year will never be forgotten. Scott Frost was about to get his first win, and then the pivotal touchdown from junior Stevie Montez, now senior. He's going to be a pivotal factor in this one. Phenomenal quarterback. Number 25, Nebraska at Colorado. First of all, none of these teams were ranked heading into last year's game. Nebraska won, Colorado won 33-28.
Last year?
Yep. So very close game. And I think Nebraska coming in as a ranked team, there's some momentum for them. But you're switching the momentum from a South Alabama team that you nearly beat, and now you're going into someone's house in the Pac-12.
Colorado.
That's a big shift. It's a very big shift. And if you can really beat South Alabama, you're not going to be able to beat the most exciting receiver in college football in Laviska Shenault Jr. So, and Montez.
Who knows what he can do?
He's a phenomenal QB. He's one of my favorite. And then, Laviska Shenault. They got Katie Nixon. They got Maurice Bell. Those are all junior receivers.
Experience.
So, Eric Lee, quarterback for Nebraska. Now, he's a defensive threat, obviously, but he returned 6 kicks last year for 243 yards.
6?
And a touchdown.
Dang.
6. It was 6. He didn't return them for a touchdown, but he returned 6 kicks for 243 yards. What are you doing? 40.5.
40 yards averages.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lee is an absolutely ridiculous returner.
40 yards.
Colorado, every team, you don't pay attention to them defending the kicks.
No.
But he returns punts, he returns kicks. He's a phenomenal football player.
40 yards, that can give you a field goal.
Now let's talk about the possible Heisman candidate. He has better odds than Jake Fromm. Adrian Martinez. Again, if you're barely able to play against South Alabama, what are you going to do against Colorado? In their house, the atmosphere is going to be electric. That might be one of the best. That might be the best game on the board.
Yeah. Most people aren't talking about it.
No, and it's a Big 12 rematch for the ages. That was a rematch from last year too. These guys used to play every year for a very long time.
Yeah.
I think it was like 1980, late 80s is when it started, and 2004, 2005 is when it ended. These guys played every year till then.
It's long.
They played 68 straight times.
You know what the thing the win ratio is?
I was saving this for Saturday selections, but they played 68 straight.
Okay.
Until 2005. They played Big 12 championships against each other. Exactly. Postseason bowls sometimes because they didn't care if conference bowl.
Yeah.
So that was a ridiculous football game.
Mm-hmm.
Football series. Yeah. Super offensive. There was absolutely no defense in that game.
No.
So I think it's going to kind of be like that. I think it's going to be in the high 30s, low 40s.
Yeah.
It's Martinez is going to throw for multiple touchdowns. Montez is going to throw for multiple touchdowns. It's going to be an air raid type game. That's what I'm thinking. Will, what do you think? What do you think about this football game?
Agreed. High scoring. Both quarterbacks feel like they're going to have a really good game. 3 or more passing touchdowns. It's going to be a good game.
All right. Let's move on. First of all, let's just stop and pray for BYU. They have a ridiculous schedule.
They do.
Ridiculously hard.
Utah.
Then a bye. Then they go to Tennessee. Next week they go to USC. Those are the first 3 games. Are you kidding? This is a Mountain West team. Have them play some teams in their own conference for crying out loud.
That's the first 3 weeks.
So BYU at Tennessee. Tennessee's favored by 9.5.
But Tennessee.
Tough loss to Georgia State. And this is kind of the same scenario that we're in that we were in over there with West Virginia and Mizzou. Mizzou lost to Wyoming, and Tennessee lost to Georgia State.
This is the worst. This loss is
one of the worst last week. And we'll talk about that question later, but that was one of the worst losses last week. So I think what Tennessee has to do to win this football game, trust your QB.
Yes.
They didn't do that at all last week.
I know.
So the Volunteers, that's where they threw an interception versus Georgia State.
I mean, they won 2 games out there.
I think it's Guriantano for Tennessee.
Yeah, Tano.
He's a good, and Ty Chandler, the running back. Those are 2 decently good football players. And sure, Tennessee scored 43 points. It's the defense that needs work.
38 points against Georgia State.
If the offense can get going early, BYU has an incredible defense. They picked off Tyler Huntley twice in the Utah game.
Yep.
And they held Utah to 30 points. Guaranteed they scored 12 because Utah's defense is ridiculous. But that's the point. The point is, if BYU can hold Tennessee, they will win this football game and force Tennessee to 0-2.
That could be Tennessee's season.
Yeah, it really could be. I mean, already. Already you're seeing losses to 2 teams that are not Power 5, and you're like, well, down the drain.
Yep.
I mean, there's really no other way to explain it. So BYU, first of all, we respect you guys. You have a very tough schedule. You play in my opinion, the best team in the Pac-12 in Utah.
Yeah. And
then you play Tennessee, an SEC team. SEC teams in general, if Vanderbilt wasn't in the SEC, this is what analyst Ben Hicks said. If Vanderbilt wasn't in the SEC, they would dominate every other conference.
They would.
Maybe not the Big Ten or the ACC, but the Big 12 and Pac-12, they would absolutely dominate.
They would.
So, that's what I'm saying. Any team you play in the SEC is going to be a tough matchup.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then USC, just tough games. And then you finally play some other person in your conference. Because your first game is Boise State. So, the first 4 games, they might go 0-4. Possibly. These are 2 0-1 teams. This is the first 2 games we've had with winless teams.
That's interesting.
So, and not our final game, but
second to last game.
Good game. This is at 10:30 on ESPN.
Right.
And just because I said that, you already know it's a Pac-12 game.
Yeah.
Stanford, number 23 team in the country, at USC.
Ooh.
First of all, Stanford, great win. Great win over at Northwestern. The defense held them to 7 points.
Yeah, that's
and they were playing a transfer from Penn State, so that's a very, very good. However, you don't want to pick Stanford to win this game because we do not know the status on KJ Costello. That's so sad.
Huge.
We gotta pray for the guy.
I know.
That's ridiculous. We don't know when he's coming back either. We haven't even heard what his injury is.
I know, we don't. I mean,
but
come on.
That was
but
a forearm to the neck, head area. The guy that hit him Patty Fisher should have been ejected.
Yeah.
That was an awful tackle. That's not how you play football.
No.
So I just want to give my heart to KJ Costello's family and helping him recover from a targeting call that I agree with all the Stanford fans out there should have been called. And that Patty Fisher should have been ejected, but he played the whole game. But Stanford still won.
Yeah.
They had a defensive touchdown.
Yes.
They had a defensive. It was a defensive touchdown, right?
Mm-hmm. Wait. Yeah.
So Costello had one to Kobe Parkinson, who's he's 6'7", 245. So you just take that in first. That's a tight end right there. But he's not big. He's a stick, but he's 6'7", and that's really what you need.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, Stanford, they don't have Costello. They have a redshirt, either freshman or sophomore. I can't remember which one coming in.
That's kind of like.
And then, but you have good receivers.
Yes.
You got Orisa St. Brown.
Oh, I love him.
You got Donald Stewart.
Yes.
Donald Stewart. You got Kobe Parkinson.
Yep. 6'7".
I mean, just ridiculous receivers, but you got and their defense.
Mm-hmm.
They were unstoppable in that football game. The defense.
They were.
They sacked Hunter Smith 9 times and picked him off twice. And they forced a fumble for a scoop and score. I mean, they were
phenomenal,
absolutely ridiculous in that game.
Yes, they were.
So if they keep performing like that every season, I think every game, I think I can beat USC.
Yeah.
But their offense is going to have to show up.
Yeah, I mean,
their offense didn't show up at all.
Not the quarterback. That's going to be hard.
Yeah, without
really hard.
Our leader. And we get to our game day game. LSU and Texas.
Ooh.
This is going to blow all the other games that we've seen. Miami, Florida,
Oregon,
Auburn.
Oh, man.
This is going Texas and Clemson. It hopefully will blow all of those other games out of the water.
I hope.
That's going to be a phenomenal game.
Yes.
Now, if it was in Death Valley at night, you'd be like, oh, okay, LSU wins. That's it. But it's not.
No.
Darrell K. Memorial Stadium, 95,000 capacity stadium.
Wow.
In Clemson. In Austin, Texas.
95. Wow.
95K. And
it's a lot.
It's already sold out.
Yeah. It was probably sold out a few months ago.
Once they found out they're playing, like, all right, tickets,
Yep.
thank you. But this is a matchup of two quarterbacks that they're not average. I'm going to say that right now. They are not average. Ellinger had 3 rushing touchdowns in the upset of Oklahoma. Now, when I said in the intro that these coaches are looking for their first big win, big out-of-conference win, I was kind of wrong because 30 seconds after I said that, I realized that Texas had already beaten an SEC team. Georgia. But LSU beat Georgia by 20 last year, so this is going to be a different level of competition.
It is.
So, Joe Burrow.
Oh, wow.
Phenomenal QB.
Yes.
Just put the dagger in USC.
Yes.
I mean, UCF.
Yes.
The great.
Oh, yeah.
Fiesta Bowl. 30-38.
Yeah, was that it? Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
so. Phenomenal. He had 4 touchdown passes. He'd have a pick 6.
Okay,
but that was at the start of the game. He gets drilled. He gets back up and throws 4 touchdown passes.
Then you have Sam Ellinger. The other side.
Exactly. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
But the difference of this game, this is the question. This is the question everyone's been asking because we all know LSU's defense.
Yes.
They have 2 draft picks that are NFL players right now. 2 top 5 draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
2 top 6 draft picks. Jamal Adams.
Oh my.
Number 6, the Jets. We know how that turned out.
Yeah.
And then Devin White, number 5 for the Buccaneers.
And
we're gonna see how that's gonna turn out
on Sunday.
But does Texas have a good enough defense to be able to stop? They have experienced receivers. Jefferson, Sullivan, name it, they got it.
Yeah. Their offense is, I think it's fine.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a great running back. So, does Texas have the defense to stop Joe Burrow and LSU?
It's hard. It's hard. Didn't they lose Malik Hooker? Did he go to? No, did he go to Texas?
I don't think so. I think he went to.
I think he did.
I think he might have.
But anyway.
They lost him though.
I mean,
they got B.J. Foster. They got Caleb Johnson. They got Malcolm Roach. Defensive lineman.
That's not Kerwin Roach?
Yeah, it's his brother.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Malcolm Roach.
They have really good players on defense.
Yeah.
Oh my, but I don't think it's enough. I really don't.
LSU's off.
Joe Burrow is just so good.
No, we're not gonna take our pick right now, but Texas defense is gonna struggle in that one.
Yeah.
All right, time to ask 3 questions that we did every week. These will be our normal 3 questions. Last week we couldn't because there's only 2 games before that. So, Will, what was the most surprising game last week?
Game, not lost?
Game.
Okay. Ooh, sorry.
Mm-hmm. Mine's gonna be Boise State, Florida State. Boise State was down 18 points.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
In the first half, and then they come back. But down 13-31, they come back and win it 36-31.
And they're in Florida State.
Exactly, in Tallahassee. And a day game, which is exactly so pure sun. So Boise State, way to pull out that one. I congratulate you on that. Good. But again, so that was a really good game. That's probably the most surprising game last week. I mean, we expected Boise to win, but we did. Once they were down, we were like, it's over.
Yeah.
That's why. So, next one. Will, who should make the jump from unranked to the top 25 after last week?
It's hard. Okay. I'm going to go with Maryland.
Maryland. All right.
No.
Yeah. Well, all right. Why
I
not?
feel like it's just the competition wasn't.
Okay.
Did Boise State make the jump?
Yeah, they're the other. Yeah.
Ooh. No, I'm going with Maryland still.
Maryland.
I'm at 79.
All right.
I think they're better than.
These guys have been ranked before, and I think there should be 2 Mountain West teams in. I think Wyoming should be in the top 25. Boise State's already in it. Why can't Wyoming be in it too? And Boise State beat an ACC team that struggled. But, Wyoming beat a Missouri team with a Clemson quarterback. So, yeah, that was a little bit better win. So I think Wyoming. Okay. I don't want to say the same answers for everything. So, and the last one, Will, who should drop from the rankings? I'm going to make my pick while he's doing that. Nebraska. They beat South Alabama by 10 points. Is that even acceptable with the expectations they have right now? No, it's not. So, with a quarterback that has better Heisman winning odds than 2 of the best quarterbacks in football, Ellinger and Fromm, and he pulls out 2 touchdown passes and an interception versus South Alabama, and they only win by 10 points. Oh. Nebraska, I don't think they should be in the top 25. Oh, they're not?
They're not.
Well then, Iowa State should not be in the top 25.
Iowa State, literally?
3 overtimes against Northern Iowa. How do you do that?
Who's Northern Iowa?
Oh, I have no idea, Will. Who is Northern Iowa? That's completely unacceptable.
It's ugly. It's just not good.
And Iowa State's supposed to have they have a great sophomore quarterback in Brock Purdy.
Purdy.
And they did lose to Hakeem Butler, who's one of my good friends, actually. But they did lose to Hakeem Butler. He's a phenomenal receiver. He's probably the best in Big 12 history with the season he had. And he stayed all 4 years, so he had better stats. Yeah. He was ridiculous. And now he's on, who's he on right now?
Hakeem Butler?
Yeah.
Cardinals,
okay. Well, he's not on a winning team, but he's still on a team. And he experienced that with his first 2 years at Iowa State. They barely won. Then they upset Oklahoma, 7-4. Then they Then they had another 8-4 season. So Iowa State, that was very disappointing. It wasn't a loss.
Yes,
but still, you should be out of there for that.
It was a bad win.
It was a bad win.
I mean, that sounds.
If there's such thing as that, it's a bad win. And we come to Super Dogs. Whew, well, you're Super Dog. Tell me the game you think. I'll give you the spread.
The game. All right. Hold up. We'll go with this one.
All right. So you get Colorado. Nebraska's favored by 4.5. Well, if you pick them under 5 points, you gotta say that they win outright. But it's Saturday selections. So, do they win outright, or do they just cover the spread? It's kind of hard to say if they cover the spread. It's only 4 points.
4 points. I'm gonna go outright.
All right.
I mean, yeah.
Just spoil the pick.
Yeah.
All right.
I really believe in them.
Mine is again off the charts.
Okay.
Vandy, Purdue.
Oh.
Vandy's favored by 1.5, which means I got to pick Purdue outright. They got a great quarterback, and I'm an Indiana fan, and I'm still saying this. They got a great quarterback. They have one of the most exciting players I've ever seen in my 10 years watching college football in Rondell Moore.
Mom, me too.
All right, hold on. In Rondell Moore. So that's going to be a phenomenal matchup.
It is.
I think.
It is.
I move on to Saturday selections.
All right.
We start with Syracuse and Maryland.
Ooh.
Well, how about what do you think about it?
High scoring one.
Okay.
Oh, Syracuse were like 20. Are they even ranked?
They're 21.
21. All right. And Maryland's out. I'm gonna. It's hard. I'm gonna go with Maryland.
Maryland, all right.
I love the upsets. I mean, that offense.
All right.
So explosive in the helm.
I'm also gonna go with Maryland. They got a home field advantage, a great transfer, which we don't say that often, but Josh Jackson of Virginia Tech. So I think Maryland will pull this one out. I don't think it's going to be close either. I think it's going to be a 2-touchdown win.
Yeah.
West Virginia at Missouri. Tough transfer battle.
Oof. I'm going to go with Mizzou.
All right. Rebounding from a tough loss last week?
Yeah. I think Kelly Bryant's going to come back and just shine.
I'm actually go with the Mizzou Tigers because they're an SEC football team. Is that really the only thing you need? I agree with Will. I do think Bryant will come out of the just rip apart the West Virginia defense. And this West Virginia defense, so you know it's not very good. But the other thing I wanted to cover, hold on, let me get to Mr. Rocker. The thing I wanted to cover was Dawson Downing, the running back. He'll have a 100-yard season. I mean, 100-yard season, that'd be awful.
Jesus Christ.
He'd have like a... He'd have a 100... Yeah, he'll have a 150 actually. I'm going to go 150. And multiple touchdowns. He's gonna rip him apart.
All right. I like it.
Second best game of the week, definitely. A&M Clemson. Will?
Clemson.
Why?
Trevor Lawrence.
It's Clemson. It's Clemson.
And
it's Clemson.
And Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
So explosive that offense.
You know, okay, so I'm also gonna go with Clemson, but not for the reason that Will did. Last time, Trevor Lawrence was supposed to have a big game, which is Georgia Tech first game of the season. He threw for 168 yards. Travis Etienne ran for 205. It's going to be the same thing tonight. Lawrence is expected tomorrow night. Lawrence is expected to have a huge game.
Yeah.
He's going to have an average game, and Etienne's going to have a bomb game. He's going to go off. He's going to score 3 touchdowns, I think, and he's going to rush for over 200 yards because that's what he does best. He score and run. Next one, Big 12, Nebraska at Colorado.
You know, my super dog, Colorado. So
Colorado, yeah. Yep. We've already had 3 ranked teams go down because I'm picking Colorado as well. It's because of South Alabama. If they would have blown them out, I would have picked Nebraska because they have Adrian Martinez. Yes. They have one of the Heisman candidates. And, do I really need to say anything more? No. But they didn't blow them out. They barely even won. They won by 10.
Yes.
So, and Colorado destroyed Colorado State. They scored 52 points on them. So,
Jesus.
Stevie Montez, they allowed 21, but they still won by 31 compared to 10. That's going to be the score, 31-10. Stevie Montez won't show no mercy. Colorado wins. BYU at Tennessee.
BYU.
I mean,
Tennessee.
They. Okay. I'm going to disagree.
Okay.
I think Tennessee will rebound from just awful loss. I think it's going to be the passing that's actually going to show up, and I think that's going to win them the football game. Tyler Bird, brother of who Cedric Bird is, the 4-touchdown man for Hawaii. But Tyler Bird for Tennessee, I think will have a huge game in the receiving core, and I think Tennessee will pull it out at home. Next one, Stanford, USC.
All right, so we don't know what's going on with KJ Costello, right?
No, not really.
I'm suspecting he's not going to be in.
I'm expecting he's not going to play.
So that means they're going to have a redshirt sophomore?
Sophomore, freshman. I can't remember which one. He's not in here. This was updated before the season started, so Costello was still in here.
Is USC home?
Yes.
Coliseum?
Yes, Coliseum, yes, sir.
I want to go with USC.
Okay.
It's hard.
Tough pick, definitely. Probably the toughest we've had so far. We just breezed through all these other ones. Let me get to this one. We're like, rivalry game. Shoot.
Oh, my. You know what? I'm going to go with Stanford.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going with Stanford.
All right.
I'm
going with USC.
Okay.
JT Daniels is one of the most underrated quarterbacks in college football.
Yeah,
he threw for 18 touchdowns last year. No one's oh, he's awful. He's not awful. He's not awful. Don't talk about him like that. And I'm personally not even a fan of USC remotely at all. But I love what they do with the football team. So I think USC will pull out a pretty big win over Stanford. I think the defense will hold them, but I think they'll shut Stanford out because of the quarterback situation. They'll win 17-0, something like that. Now we come to the game this week. Texas hosting LSU. The number 6 team in the Tigers versus the number 9 team Longhorns. Will? Answer the question. Who wins this football game?
LS.
Oh,
Yeah.
go. When in doubt, choose the SEC.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said. I mean,
Took the words right out of your mouth, didn't I?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with LSU.
Okay. And why is that? Why is that?
I'm sorry.
Sorry, we have neighbors. So.
Yeah, Texas defense. I don't think it's enough.
It's not. You think it's going to be more offense than defense for LSU?
No, I think it's going to be more defense.
Okay.
I'm saying the Texas defense.
Because LSU, like, this is what I'm saying about Jalen Hurts. Like, Jalen Hurts and the Texas offense go together. How? In the opposite way. Hurts used to playing for Alabama, and used to his defense is getting some stops for you. Yes. That's not going to happen in the Big 12. You're Oklahoma. You're going to have to score like every possession.
Yes.
For Alabama, you didn't have to because you had a phenomenal defense. For Texas, it's the same thing. But they played other Big 12 defenses all the time, so they didn't care.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, we'll just outscore them. That's what they did with Kyler Murray. They're like, we're not going to contain him. We're just going to outscore him. And that's what they did, and they won.
They did.
But you can't do that.
Really?
Your offense can't do that because you've never faced a defense like the Tigers. Joe Burrow, he'll throw for at least a touchdown, but that's not the factor. The defense will be the factor for the Tigers. They probably have another top 10 draft pick in Rashard Lawrence, and another after that with Grant Delpit, one of the best safeties in football. Will, appreciate you for being here, but before you go, what will be the biggest upset this week?
Out of these games?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Actually, I mean, it could just be in general. But we have, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ranked teams going down.
Same. No, I have 4.
You 4 because you picked Stanford instead.
Mm-hmm.
But I had SC.
All right. I'm gonna go with this game. Tennessee BYU.
You know, none of those guys are ranked, right? But there's still going to be a big upset.
I know, but
all right.
I just feel like if Tennessee goes 0-2,
that's gonna be tough.
That's huge.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with the SC Stanford. I think the Coliseum will probably all the seats will be empty after the game. You know why? Because they'll all be on the field. I think they're gonna get a huge win. Stanford, they haven't won this game since 2017, so 2 years ago. That Stanford won last time. They want revenge, Will.
They do.
I mean, who doesn't want revenge in a conference game? They usually have this game early. They're doing it again in week 2. This is going to be a phenomenal football game, but in the end, it's SC's defense that gets it done. They've raised phenomenal players, Troy Polamalu, and a bunch of other cornerbacks. And I think that's why the quarterback, I don't know his name. Sorry. Stanford QBs. Stanford quarterbacks. But anyway, this is going to be a phenomenal team. Davis Mills, the sophomore. So, sorry, I turned it off. But he did okay in the Northwestern game. Yeah, defense carried him to victory. You can't do that in a conference game. So I think USC gets it done. That's my biggest upset. All right, well. Thanks for being here. Another great episode of Game Day. Be sure to watch all the games this weekend. There are a lot of great ones, but the biggest thing we like to say here, be sure to like, subscribe. Be sure to watch all the other episodes. See ya.